Your biceps are popping. Your chest is filling out. You're hitting new PRs every other week. Then, someone shakes your hand, and your grip feels like a wet handshake from a tired librarian. Or you're mid-set on deadlifts. The weight is there, your back is there, your legs are there. And then your forearms give out. Bar slips, set over, gains gone. Here's what nobody in the gym will tell you. Your forearms are the single most visible, most functional, and most neglected muscle group on your entire body. And skipping them isn't just an aesthetic mistake. It's making every other muscle you've built less effective. Let me fix that.
Let's start with the obvious reason: how you actually look. Here's the problem with modern gym training. Everyone focuses on the muscles that are covered up. Chest under a shirt, back under a jacket, abs under literally everything. But forearms? They're exposed every single day. Every time you roll up your sleeves, reach for something, shake someone's hand, your forearms are on display, whether you trained them or not. And this is what makes them a complete cheat code for looking strong. You don't need to be shredded to have impressive forearms. You don't need to be massive. Just developed forearms on an average-sized person make every arm look thicker, every handshake feel authoritative, every casual gesture communicate strength. There's also the vein factor. The forearm has extremely low subcutaneous fat compared to other muscle groups. That means vascularity shows up here first and stays here longest. Train forearms consistently for 8 to 12 weeks and you will have visible veins at body fat percentages where most people are still smooth everywhere else. Forearms are the fastest return on investment in visible aesthetics. Period.
The second reason isn't about looking good. It's about actually performing. Your grip is the physical interface between your body and every single piece of equipment you touch. Barbell, dumbbell, pull-up bar, cable handle. All of it passes through your hands and forearms first. If that link is weak, it doesn't matter how strong your back is, how developed your biceps are, or how much you've progressed on paper. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that grip strength is one of the strongest predictors of upper body pulling performance across all exercises. In plain terms, weak grip, weak everything above it. This shows up practically every single session. You're doing weighted pull-ups and your hands give out before your lats do. You're doing barbell rows and your forearms fatigue before your back does. You're doing farmer carries and you have to stop, not because your legs failed, but because your grip did. Your forearms are either the ceiling or the foundation of your entire upper body training. Right now, for most people, they're the ceiling. The third reason is the one that will actually save your training long term. Elbow pain, that sharp lateral sting when you curl, that dull ache on the inner elbow when you bench, that specific pain that makes you stop a set before you even hit failure. Here's what's actually happening. Your forearm has two opposing muscle groups, the wrist flexors on the inside of your arm and the wrist extensors on the outside. Most gym programs train the flexors heavily through all the curling and gripping work and completely ignore the extensors. This creates a muscular imbalance across the elbow joint. That imbalance is the direct cause of what's clinically known as lateral epicondylolgia, what most people call tennis elbow, and medial epicondylolgia, which is golfer's elbow. A 2020 review in the British Journal of Sports Medicine confirmed that targeted forearm strengthening significantly reduces both conditions and prevents recurrence. Translation: training your forearms properly protects your elbows and keeps you in the gym longer.
Now for the part nobody wants to hear. Genetics play a larger role in forearm development than almost any other muscle group. And the reason comes down to two things: muscle belly length and insertion points. Muscle belly length refers to how much of your forearm length is actual contractile muscle tissue versus tendon. Longer muscle bellies mean more tissue available to grow, meaning the muscle fills more of the visible forearm length. Shorter bellies mean the muscle takes up less real estate and growth looks less dramatic, even if the strength gains are identical. Insertion points, where the tendon attaches to bone, determine the mechanical advantage of the muscle. A lower insertion point creates a...
Before you can train something intelligently, you need to know what you're actually training. So let's break this down properly. Your forearm contains over 20 individual muscles, but for hypertrophy and performance, there are 3 groups that matter. Group 1, the brachioradialis. This is the single most important muscle for forearm aesthetics, and it's the one most people have never specifically targeted. It sits on the top of the forearm, running from the lateral elbow down to the wrist. It's a hybrid muscle. It's actually classified as both an elbow flexor and a forearm muscle, depending on the context. It has the highest hypertrophy potential of any forearm muscle. When it's developed, it creates that thick, dense look from the elbow down that makes forearms look powerful from every angle. The key? It's maximally activated with a neutral grip, thumb up, palms facing each other, which is why most conventional curling with a supinated palm grip barely touches it. Group 2, wrist flexors and extensors. These run along the inner and outer forearm respectively. They control wrist movement in all directions. Their hypertrophy potential is limited compared to the brachioradialis, but they are critical for joint health, grip endurance, and preventing the elbow imbalances we covered earlier. They need to be...
3 myths killing your forearm gains right now. Myth 1. Wrist curls are the best forearm exercise. Wrong. Wrist curls only target the wrist flexors, which have limited growth potential. If wrist curls are the only forearm work you're doing, you're training the wrong muscle for aesthetics. The brachioradialis, the muscle that actually makes forearms look impressive, is barely involved in wrist curls. You need neutral and pronated grip movements, not just wrist flexion. Myth 2. Forearms get enough work from your regular training. They don't. Conventional training heavily biases the wrist flexors and grip through supinated movements like bicep curls and rows. The brachioradialis and wrist extensors are chronically undertrained in standard gym programs. That imbalance builds over time and eventually becomes your elbow pain. Myth 3. Forearms need low reps and heavy weight to grow. Research shows forearm muscles, specifically the brachioradialis, respond well across a wide rep range, 8 to 30 reps, due to their mixed fiber type composition. Heavy and light both work. Consistency and progressive overload are what matter, not the specific load. Scene 8. Exercise 1. Hammer curls.
Exercise 1. The hammer curl. And yes, you've seen this exercise before, but I guarantee most of you are doing it wrong. The hammer curl is the primary brachioradialis movement. Neutral grip, thumbs up, palms facing each other throughout the entire rep. This grip position is what separates it from a regular bicep curl and what makes it directly target the muscle we actually want to grow. Here is the mistake most people make. They let their wrist rotate at the top of the movement, going from neutral to supinated as the dumbbell reaches shoulder height. The second you supinate, you shift tension from the brachioradialis to the bicep. You've just turned a forearm exercise into an arm exercise. Keep the thumb pointing up from the bottom of the rep to the top. No rotation. Full range of motion. Control the descent. The eccentric phase is where the most muscle damage and therefore adaptation occurs. Don't just drop the weight back down. You can do this with dumbbells, a cable rope attachment, or a hammer curl machine. The equipment doesn't matter.
Exercise 2. The reverse curl. The most underrated forearm and elbow health exercise in the gym. A reverse curl is a standard curl, but with a pronated grip, palms facing down, knuckles facing up. This grip position does 2 things simultaneously. It maximally loads the brachioradialis at a different angle than the hammer curl, and it brings the wrist extensors into the movement, which is exactly what fixes the flexor-extensor imbalance causing elbow pain. This is the exercise that directly addresses tennis elbow prevention because it strengthens the extensors that conventional curling completely ignores. The form cue is the same.
Exercise 3. The wrist roller. And this one trains the muscles the first 2 exercises miss. A wrist roller is a stick with a rope attached to the center and a weight hanging from the rope. You hold it out in front of you, elbow slightly bent, not fully extended, and roll the rope up by alternating wrist movements.
When you roll upward, the wrists extend, targeting the wrist extensors on the outside of your forearm. When you roll downward, the wrists flex, targeting the wrist flexors on the inside. The critical form point: do not hold the roller out straight with fully extended arms. That position shifts the load to your shoulders and takes it completely off your forearms within about 30 seconds. Keep a slight elbow bend and keep your elbows close to your sides. The time under tension on this exercise is enormous compared to regular sets and reps. One set rolling up and one set rolling back down is equivalent in stimulus to multiple sets of wrist curls. Sets: 3 sets rolling up, 3 sets rolling down. No.
Exercise 4. Grip training. And this is where the deep flexors we talked about actually get trained. There are 3 practical options, depending on what you have access to. Option 1. Hand grippers. The spring-loaded hand crushers that look like toys. Don't be fooled. A 2021 study in the European Journal of Sports Science found that isometric grip training with progressive resistance grippers produced significant increases in both grip strength and deep flexor muscle cross-sectional area over 8 weeks. Use them between sets, during rest periods, while you're watching video, whenever. Progressive resistance matters. Start at a level that's challenging by rep 15 and increase resistance when that becomes easy. Option 2. Fat grips. Thick rubber sleeves that wrap around any barbell or dumbbell handle, increasing the diameter. A thicker handle reduces the mechanical advantage of your fingers and forces the deep flexors to work harder to maintain the same grip. Every set you do with fat grips becomes incidental grip training. They're cheap, portable, and require 0 additional gym time. Option 3. Rice bucket training. Fill a bucket with uncooked rice. Plunge both hands in and move them in every direction. Twist, claw, open, close, squeeze. Sounds unconventional. The results are not. Rice bucket training develops grip endurance and wrist stability in multiple planes of movement that grippers and fat grips cannot replicate. It was a staple in combat sports training long before anyone.
Here is how you actually put this together without adding an extra hour to your training week. Workout A, aesthetics focus. Hammer curls, 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Neutral grip, full range, controlled eccentric. Tag these onto the end of your bicep session. They pair naturally because the brachioradialis is already warm from curling. Wrist roller, 3 sets rolling up, 3 sets rolling down. 90 seconds rest between rounds. Hand grippers, 3 sets to near failure. Use rest periods between other exercises. Workout B, performance and injury prevention focus. Reverse curls, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Pronated grip, controlled, start lighter than your ego wants. Wrist roller, same as workout A. Fat grip work. Add fat grips to 2 exercises in your existing session. Any pull or row movement works. No extra time required. Frequency. Forearms recover fast. The muscle fiber composition of the forearms skews toward type 1 slow twitch fibers with high fatigue resistance. Research supports training them 3 to 4 times per week at moderate volume. Start with 2 sessions, 1A, 1B, and add a third once recovery feels easy. Never train them to complete failure on the day before a heavy pulling session, because grip fatigue carries over. Progressive overload applies here exactly as it does everywhere else. Add a rep. Add a small plate. Increase gripper resistance. If you do the same thing every week, you will get the same forearms every week. Here is everything you need. Train the brachioradialis, hammer curls, and reverse curls. This is the muscle that actually changes how your forearms look. Train the wrist extensors, reverse curls, and wrist roller rolling upward. This fixes the imbalance, destroying your elbows. Train your grip, grippers, fat grips, or rice bucket. This removes the weakest link from every pulling exercise you do. Do this 2 to 4 times per week. Add it to sessions you're already doing. It takes 15 minutes maximum. The people who actually do this for 8 weeks will never neglect forearms again. The results are that visible, that fast, and that consistent. Roll up your sleeves. Let them speak for themselves.
And if you want to know the exact full arm training plan that combines everything we just covered with the right bicep and tricep work to build arms that actually match, click on this video next.